Hi guys. I just wanted to quickly address this situation with the guy who's running the in self-defense in defense of of traditional martial arts channel on YouTube, who keeps commenting on the videos that I make, telling me that I don't know what I'm doing and that it's all fake and all of this sort of shit. He's also got it in for Adam Mizner and all of those Tai Chi guys, right? So he claims to have learned from Dan Doherty, who is a somewhat controversial figure. Um, anyway, so all of these comments trying to goad me into sparring, right? So now I don't mind, you know, an exchange. Uh, a light exchange is fine. I'm not the best there ever is or ever will be. I'm fully aware of that. I don't train in order to go around beating up people. I never have done. I've been training since I was a kid, and the main reason for me has always been because I enjoy it. There's really nothing else more to it than that. I know that I'm not the best. I will openly say I'm not that good. I understand it. I know that about myself. It doesn't bother me. It is how it is. You work every day to get better and get as good as you can. I'm not one of those guys who was ever going to like get into a ring and try and like compete or anything like that. And the reason is just because it's just not my nature, right? I know that. So different people train for different reasons. For me, my main reason is actually just enjoyment, to get fitter and also learn about the anatomy, balance, and all of these things that you learn in traditional Chinese martial arts, especially, but really to some degree in any martial art. So when I make videos where I'm showing, for instance, training where I'm like using cardboard, the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm actually developing a skill. It's not like it's not for no reason. And maybe you don't understand that looking through the screen, like that doesn't make sense. But there's traditional training where you have like hanging paper punching. Is to try and develop this sort of like soft hands with hard power, right? Sort of penetrating power, and it's all it is. As well as that, it can help you improve your timing and like keeping the positioning correct of the arms and all of this sort of thing. But it's not. I'm not saying that do that in order to necessarily like knock people out or that this is like some sort of secret killing technique or something. Okay, so when I do stuff like that, it's just to show like some of the methods I use. Okay, and I also for instance will train my punches and conditioning on trees, on like pull-up bars, as I posted all these videos over the last few years to just to show like the range of different things that I practice that other people might be interested in, or for my students who are learning to be interested in the things that they can do outside of class and the kind of skills that they can develop. Because when I'm teaching people, I actually show them like this is how this is applied and this is the kind of force that you're trying to use with it. This is the reason that we're doing it. Okay, this is the reason that we do it in the forms. This is the reason that you align your body in this way. This is this is all part of the same process of learning about yourself, learning about your own anatomy, learning about your opponents, and how to apply all of these things. Okay, so for me personally, I'm not interested in like hurting people. I want to know enough to be able to defend myself if I absolutely need to. But that's about it. I'm really not. I'm not one of these guys who's like gonna go out and like, try and like pick a fight with people. And I tell you, the main reason is probably because I will fucking lose. Actually, like it doesn't. It doesn't bother me, but I'm just not naturally. I'm not naturally like that. The reason that we learn martial arts is because of the art aspect, I think, at least. And by art, I mean, how can you generate the maximum power from what you have? You know, there are ways of aligning the body and aligning our bones, and so that we can do that. Now, anybody can throw a knockout punch at the same time with no skill at all. Just by swinging their arms, right? So a punch is just a punch. When you learn martial arts, you're learning how to do it in a way that makes more sense. At least you should be. Um, but it's not something that like anybody it's not something that is an exclusive skill. I mean, if you really just want to defend yourself, you're probably just better off like walking around with a pit bull or something rather than like spending hours and years of your life learning kung fu or any other martial art, to be honest. um so for me personally, it's really not a case that like I want to like prove something. Actually, I really don't care. What got to me about this situation is because there are things that you need to feel and experience in order to understand like what we're talking about and why we do certain drills. I'm not a Tai Chi guy. I've never learned Tai Chi. I don't know it at all. I don't know any Tai Chi. I do know, however, from looking at Adam's stuff, one example that he is of a very high level, and I can see that just by the way that his structure is aligned, the way that he uses his force, and the way that he understands the opponent's force, their alignment, where their energy is, and how to work with them rather than against them. That's just an observation based on, I don't know Adam, I don't know that style. I can just see though that he is genuine. It may not look real, but unless you can can understand like what makes it real. So does it mean that Adam Mizner is like an MMA guy and gonna get into the ring and smash the shit out of somebody? No, I don't think it does mean that. I don't think that's why Adam is doing what he does. I don't think it's the purpose of Tai Chi, which is a gentle art. It's really not about like trying to absolutely decimate people. It takes a long time to master or to learn it to even a relatively low level, which is why I have never attempted it, because I find it hard to like stand still for hours on end, just trying to get the alignment correct. So maybe when I'm older, but not right now. Nonetheless, there is some overlap, and so I can see just from a basic understanding of like martial arts, like the anatomy and the gravity and all of this kind of thing, the alignment of the bones and how he's moving. I can see, no, he does have a genuine skill. So, and I think also for people who are really into this game of like, this Tai Chi guy is fake or this Tai Chi guy is fake, which is huge on the internet. And it's not incorrect with some people, but there is a big difference between somebody who's like pushing people over one finger and they go, and they go crazy in the air, and what Adam is doing or what others like him are doing. And if you just think about how hard it would be to get away with conning, like, because Adam has like hundreds of thousands of students at this point globally, and he's been on like big martial arts channels on YouTube, and he's well known. At a certain point, that person's skill is going to come out that they can't do that, because someone will break that conspiracy and they will show it concretely that he just can't do what he's doing. And I know that he can do what he's doing, even though I don't fully understand it. I know enough about it to be able to see that. Now, like I say, I don't know Adam. I'm not affiliated with him. One of my teachers, he did start learning some Tai Chi and showed us a little bit, but I don't really know it. The styles I know, and I know, and I teach the Shaolin, the Tantu, and sometimes we'll add in some Wing Chun as well. But you know, whatever. You know, I mean, it's the template from which you start from, you learn, and then you can adapt from there. And you know, I really do have a big problem with anybody who thinks that they know everything, because I know at the highest levels, teachers at the highest levels of skill and in general will not say they know everything and claim to know everything. Okay, once you say I know everything or I have the secret to everything, you've already stopped learning. You've already limited yourself to what you already know, which means that you're stuck. You're just stuck. And it is a problem you see a lot in traditional martial arts. Actually, it gets stuck in time, and people don't, they don't appreciate that you should continue to learn it throughout your life, and you should continue to learn throughout your martial arts life as well, right? Because everybody is doing slightly different things, and there is something to be gained usually from what everybody is doing, one way or another. So to just sort of decide at a certain point, you know everything, you have the ultimate secrets, and that's just how it is, and everybody else is below you is wrong, okay? And you're setting yourself up for failure as well, because as I said earlier, not everybody, there will always be somebody better than you. Doesn't mean that they do kung fu, doesn't mean that they do any martial arts. Might just be good at fighting, which is, a lot of people like. They don't give a shit about martial arts or MMA, and even give a shit about that. They're just good at fighting. Just to fucking knock people out. They just don't care, right? So, you could really just can't decide. Like at a certain point in time, you have everything, and that's the end of it. And that's why I said to this guy, who's running this channel, like, come and train with me, and let me explain like where it's going wrong. And I can't show like what Adam does. I can't show that because I don't know it, and I've made that clear. I can explain like why I do what I do. So that's the bit that I can explain and show. And I can show like how that works. Now, does it mean that it doesn't mean I want to get into like some big fight with this guy, where because for all I know, he might maybe well be much better than I am, right? It could absolutely be the case. I might just fucking steam in and boom, 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 and there you go. I'm on the floor. I'm knocked out. Nothing's gained. Nothing's learned. It's really not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is an actual, genuine exchange of skills and ideas, and that's about it. You don't have if you don't have to actually like really go hard on somebody to learn something, okay, or to make a point. Because I will say it right now: if your goal is to come and like destroy me, then you win. You're better than me, you win. It changes nothing for me. What I'm interested in showing you is why I'm training the way that I do. That's all it is. And will that involve some sparring? Probably. And yes, it will. Chances are. But it's not. It's to show you how it's applied, right? It's not about necessarily like making me trying to make a point that like I'm better. This is how and all of this stuff. It's just explain, because if you haven't had it explained to you like properly, why we do some of this stuff, it doesn't make sense necessarily, right? So you have to have somebody actually show you. And one of the other big problems I have with these guys who keep like coming out against like Mizner or whoever, name someone they'll find randomly, or a big name in Tai Chi, and then they say, oh, but it's not real what they're doing. It's like there is actually just like nothing to stop you going and training with their students, right? There's nothing to stop that, stop you from doing that. So I don't know, like, why, yeah, don't go in there with like a massive fucking arsehole trying to like, make a point. But maybe it's possible that you don't actually have to make a point and just go and see and think, okay, is this, is it real? If I touch hands with this person, with their students, how does it feel? Is there nothing? Is it? I'm not gonna, necessarily go along with it. Okay, fine. No one's asking. It doesn't mean you have to knock people out, but you can learn from it. And then you go, okay, yeah, I touched hands with their students. I felt nothing. It's obviously it's a fraud, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt. Is how it is. Some people enjoy it. What can you do? If nothing else, even if it is fake, it's giving people something to focus on and something to enjoy, right? Which is the main reason that I train. I'm really not very interested in like MMA, because I'm old enough to remember when MMA started, and it wasn't around when I started training when I was a kid, when I was 11. It just wasn't around, so it just didn't exist. And then over the years it become more and more formalized and more popular, and now to me it's like any other like industry, so any other sports industry. So it is what it is. A lot of people like it. I look at it and think a lot of those guys going to end up getting like serious brain damage and from doing that. And to me, the point of martial arts is not to get hurt, it's to protect yourself. So I have a lot of respect for what they're doing. I wouldn't do it. They're fucking great fighters, there's no question about that. I'm just saying, from my perspective, that's not what motivates me, because I kind of like want to have a brain, right? And I want to be able to think, and I think that martial arts can still be a part of that. So I don't have to have Parkinson's from being hit in the head multiple times. I don't have to have like dementia at the age of 40 from being hit in the head multiple times. I don't need complex brain injury. These are all things that you don't need to have in order to do martial arts. So when you see MMA and people being put on the floor and punched in the face repeatedly, elbows and in here and here, all this stuff, to me, it's not really an exchange of skill at a certain point. It's just a blood sport, and people getting seriously hurt from doing it. And that is not the goal of martial arts, in my opinion. You take something like fencing, right? So that's a highly respected Olympic sport at this point, and you have people at that level, the world champion, undisputable like world champions. They're not coming out with like brain damage and Parkinson's and all these awful brain disorders, because they're not being knocked out multiple times and taking all this trauma to the head. The head is not designed to be pounded repeatedly. Yes, you have a skull here, it keeps your brain like safe, is the goal of that. But it's not. But that's telling you that it should be protected, right? Not that it's okay to just take repeated hits to the head and repeated knockouts. It's not good for you. So for me, if I go through life and I don't get like repeatedly knocked out, then that to me is a good thing, not a bad thing. But as I say, it's not, it's not why I train. I'm really not interested in it. I'm training purely for enjoyment and to enrich my life. That's basically it. If I get some self defense stuff from it, then great, you know. But the students who come to me, they again, they're not, a lot of the time they're not interested particularly in defending themselves. They just want to develop the skills, and then that comes secondary to that. So this is the way that I approach it. So I'm happy to meet with this guy. I'm happy to have an exchange and explain everything and make a video. It's fine by me. Um, but I'm not here to come and like take a bunch of shit for no reason. Like, what I'm doing does it, you know, is not. It doesn't mean that I deserve like to be like some sort of trash, be taught to like you're an idiot. Look at what you're doing. You're fat. You're all this. Come and experience it. I'll explain what I'm doing and why, and I openly admit. Right now, as I say to anybody, there's a lot of people who are much better than me. Okay, it's as simple as that. The reason I train the way I do is because I'm developing skills that I think help me. There's a method to what can sometimes look like the madness, you know, is how it is. But yeah, so let me make it clear. I'm not interested in like some blood sport here. I just want to show and explain it. Okay, you can call me a chicken. You can call me this. You can call me that. I've heard it all a million fucking times. I don't care. We're not in the playground. I just don't give a shit. Like, I just want to show like why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's all it comes down to. And it means like that, you know, so there's this other thing, right, that exists in where people say like the be all and end all has become, well, it's if a traditional martial art is to prove itself, then you have to do sparring, and it's like, yeah, but then a lot of sparring can actually be quite bad sparring. Just because you're doing sparring doesn't mean it's a good it doesn't mean it's good sparring, because there's a good and bad version of sparring, and a bad version is often seen at some of these like McDojo schools, and you look at it and you think is not even worth doing. So technically they tick the box, yeah, it's sparring, but it's not of quality. It's not like anyone's learning anything or utilizing any skills. It's just to say that they've done it. And so, you know, when these statements get made, like, well, we have to have sparring and that proves it, or we have to have this and this proves it. It's like, again, the same. Like, you can have competitions, right? Like contact, like full contact competitions, and just because the people in them are doing them are hitting each other, you know, in the head with gloves on, doesn't mean there's actually like a high level of skill involved. Like, unskilled people, just because they're doing it doesn't mean that they have like a great level of skill necessarily. It depends on like the quality of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because watching like two people just hit each other in the head is just pointless. It's not entertaining. You're not learning anything from it. So there's no skill particularly to it, right? So yeah, sparring is one thing. Chi Sao is another. But these are all tools that ultimately are designed to develop your skills. And unless you're developing a skill while you do it, there's just really no point in doing it. You're just ticking a box. So when people say like, well, are they doing sparring? And you know, at least they're doing sparring, or sparring is good, you know, here because and this shows that this traditional martial art works. I think, well, not necessarily if it's bad sparring. All it shows is that people can do bad sparring, which, you know, hey, I mean, great, I guess. Like, I would rather see people do more techniques and learn structure and form properly and understand how to apply it, rather than wasting time pretending to do bad sparring, because, you know, we don't really do sparring in this way, because I want to cut down the opponent as soon as possible, right? Rather than stand there exchanging blows with them, is the goal, because sparring is the game, and in the game, you know, you're trying to get them, they're trying to get you. But we really just want to end a fight as quickly as possible, rather than playing around. And ending a fight doesn't necessarily mean like knocking somebody out, right? I mean, it just mean like being able to neutralize and control that situation, so you have enough time to at least get away. That's my take on it, at least. So yeah, come down. You know, we'll train for a bit, make a video about it. I'm happy, you know, film it. That's fine. I'm not here to just like be abused, though. I am interested only in a genuine exchange of skills and ideas, and nothing more than that. That's all it is. I'm not, and like I say, if you want to say you're better than me or whatever, that's fine. I don't mind. You can say that. Really don't care, actually. What I have a problem with is when you're saying things like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, and I can only show you how it works. Maybe what you're doing is better, but I can only show you how it works by if you actually come here and I show you, and show it on you. And again, I'm not looking to hurt anybody. I'm not looking to hurt you. I just want to explain like how it works and why we're doing it. That's all. Okay, so, you know, in martial arts, we have to have respect for each other, have to have respect for ourselves. And as soon as somebody starts really talking down to me or to somebody else within the martial arts to this extent that I've been subjected to, you have already disrespected yourself. Okay. You are already being disrespectful to your art, your teacher, and everything that you're claiming to stand for. And that's not good. It's not right. It's not why we're doing it. Respect for ourselves leads to respect for other people, and vice versa. Okay? So hopefully, all being well, I'll see this guy on Saturday. He said he's going to come to the park where I train, where I post these videos from. Which is cool, you know, come down, see how it goes, and I'm interested to see what he does and what he doesn't do, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Alright, thanks for watching. It's been a long video, we covered a lot of topics, but yeah, take care everyone, keep training, bye.